See something, say something. If you see something unsafe, fix the issue or say something to your supervisor. On a job site that's normally buzzing with the sounds of saws and connectors, the main buzz today is what happened to Robert. Robert didn't show up for his shift today because of an injury. While no one knows the extent of his injury, that doesn't stop his coworkers from talking about the what-ifs.
Did you hear about Robert? I guess he fell from 3 stories up last week.
No, that's not what I heard. I heard he fell off a 6-foot ledge just like this one and broke his neck.
If either of these rumors are true, things look pretty bleak for Robert. But when you consider that more than half of deaths from falls occur in the construction industry, it's easy to see why you might come to this conclusion. Fall hazards can be found on every construction site: building structures, exterior construction areas, scaffolds, stairs, ladders, and powered work platforms. If these rumors about Robert are true, he was not following the rules about proper fall protection, or he was working in an unsafe location. Work conditions 6 feet or more above a lower level require the use of fall protection. Was Robert walking on a ledge without a proper guardrail? Was he working high up without fall restraint? Regardless of height, fall protection must be used when working above dangerous equipment or sharp or piercing objects. Maybe there was an unprotected hole that Robert fell through while on the job. These can be easy to miss without the required marked floor cover. Or maybe Robert just blatantly disregarded the warning line that was placed 15 feet from the edge of a roof he was working on. Maybe the warning line was knocked over or damaged, and Robert kept working anyway. Any of these situations could have potentially led to a serious fall. Here are a few things to keep in mind when using personal fall arrest systems. The body harness must be worn properly with the chest strap across the chest and the D-ring resting between the shoulders. The body harness must be inspected before each use for damage and adjusted to fit the employee who's using it. In addition, the lanyard or retractable must be in good condition and free from visible damage. Have someone check your fall arrest gear before attaching to an anchorage point. Snap the lanyard to the D-ring on the body harness and use an anchorage point that will be able to support the weight of a fall.
Yeah, I think we are gonna have to fix that. Oh my God, did you hear about Robert yesterday? He fell off the scaffold. Doctors don't think he'll ever be able to walk again.
You've got to be kidding me. How's he going to support his family?
The first thing Robert would have needed to know is that the scaffold he was working on was properly constructed and supported. Scaffold bases must rest on a based plate and mud sill on a flat, solid surface. This is designed to level and support the scaffold. When working on scaffolds that are 6 feet above a lower level, guardrail systems must be installed. Never work on a scaffold without this safety feature. Hopefully Robert wasn't trying to use a scaffold marked "not in use" or one that was unsafe in any other way. Maybe he was trying to use blocks, bricks, or something else to get extra leverage. Additionally, it would be important to note that anyone using scaffolds should use ladders that are designed specifically for use with scaffolds. These must be firmly secured and utilized properly. And speaking of ladders,
I heard that Robert's in the hospital. He fell off an extension ladder.
No, he did fall off the ladder, but he was electrocuted using an aluminum ladder next to the power lines.
ladder injuries are one of the most common types of injuries that can occur on a job site. If Robert was using a ladder improperly, he could have been seriously injured. There are many reasons people get injured using ladders. One is by not selecting the right ladder to use in the first place. First, you've got to select the right height. the extension ladder should be 7 to 10 feet longer than the highest contact point, which may be a wall or roof line. It must extend 3 feet past this contact point. Keep in mind, GH Phipps only allows Type 1, 1A, or 1AA ladders. Next, you have to pay attention to the duty rating. If Robert chose a ladder that wasn't suited for his weight or the job needed, it could have buckled or broken and resulted in a fall. The third thing to consider is the material of the ladder. If Robert really was working near electricity, he should have chosen a fiberglass ladder instead of an aluminum ladder to prevent electrical shock. Maybe it was just a simple oversight on Robert's part. He might have forgotten to inspect the ladder he was using before use for loose or missing parts, cracks, dents, or other signs of damage. This can easily be overlooked and lead to a serious fall. Always inspect ladders before using them. Hopefully Robert was following all of the proper guidelines for climbing and working from a ladder as well. Being a veteran in the construction industry, Robert might have taken some of his safety training for granted. Never stand on the top rung of a ladder or straddle an A-frame ladder. When setting up an extension ladder, you have to make sure the ladder is set at the 4:1 ratio and set on a sturdy, level surface. The 4:1 ratio just means that for every 4 feet high, the ladder should be set 1 foot away from the wall. Keep in mind, each rung is about 1 foot, so that should make visualizing it easier. Even if Robert had selected and set up the ladder properly, he still could have suffered a serious injury from falling because he wasn't climbing the ladder properly. To avoid an injury, you must always maintain 3 points of contact, which means 2 hands and 1 foot, or 2 feet and 1 hand at all times while climbing up or down a ladder. Also, as a general rule, your belt buckles should be centered between the rungs. This way, you're not shifting too much weight one direction or the other.
What are you guys looking at?
Whoa! Dude, I thought you broke your neck.
Nah, just tripped over some tools, hurt my ankle real bad. Just got back from the doc though, he said I'm good to go. But you guys should really pick up your tools and quit gossiping.
After all the discussion, Robert was lucky and only suffered a minor ankle sprain. But this situation could have been much more serious. This is your life and livelihood on the line, so never overlook simple safety precautions. In this case, following some simple housekeeping guidelines could have saved Robert a trip to the doctor. First, keep your tools and other items out of the way and neatly organized. If you see a mess, take care of it. If you find someone's tools or equipment lying around, move them out of the way. Immediately clear scrap and debris from walkways and keep access points and hallways clear of obstructions. Wrap up extension cords, lines, and hoses when not in use. Cords should be elevated whenever possible. All vertically protruding rebar, conduit, copper piping, and stakes must be capped with a rebar cap or otherwise protected. Also, be sure to dispose of materials properly. Bend down or remove nails before discarding scrap materials, and make sure exposed pipes, conduit, or rebar is capped or covered. Other common slips, trips, and falls occur when weather conditions make the ground slick or icy. In these cases, you can use ice melt to make the ground safer. You also have slip-on mini crampons at your disposal to improve your traction. Much of the time on a construction site, you will be walking around rough, rugged, and uneven dirt terrain. Always watch where you're walking to avoid big changes in elevation. Never jump off of platforms or try to jump up an elevation break. Always use steps or a ladder. See something? Say something. If you see something unsafe, fix the issue or say something to your supervisor. Fortunately, Robert gets to keep supporting his family without any time gone from work. If you follow the safety guidelines in this and other videos, you can ensure your safety on the job every day. At GH Phipps, your safety is our #1 concern, and we take that very seriously. Thank you for your time and attention.